know how they work. They offer free cards, but they're not as good as the ones that you've got to actually fork over tons and tons of time of gameplay.
So, like I said before, and like I say it again, you're dealing with a person here who is struggling internally about coming to a conclusion about what he sees. That's why he can't help it. If you look at this video extensively, that's why I'm gonna go through this whole entire thing. I'm gonna comment on it. Extensively, he comes to the conclusion that, holy crap, they are like Madden and 2K because they're doing the exact same thing. Why don't you admit it? Just say it.
Or actual money for. I really don't want my point to get lost here. I'm not saying they're not putting out good cards for free. This is a case where John Donaldson, who I think is probably the second.
So, Gnomes, if they're putting out good cards for free, and you believe they are, why is your focus on the cards that are better than the good cards they're putting out for free? I'm going to say it again, Gnomes. What do you see in front of you? You showed cards in this video, and I don't even give a crap about this stuff, about this Diamond Dynasty stuff. I know it's pay-to-win predatory crap anyway, because I know where they're heading. But to you, my brother in Christ, let me ask you this question. You said you don't want to carry this notion that there aren't any good free cards. You know there are good free cards, but you know that there's so much work to put into those new free good cards that most people don't have the time for that. They do, however, have the time to pay to win, which is why they make that option there. Come on, man. Wake up.
Second best pitcher in the game. This card is obtainable for free. You've got to play a decent bit. You have to play through some storylines. You have to go through the Jackie Robinson Day program. There's 2 showdowns to play. There's a conquest map for Hilton Smith. But if you do that, you're able to get John Donaldson, who has been...
Yeah, there's like 15 hopscotches you got to do. You got to frogger yourself across 45 highways. You have to run 8 miles back and forth. You got to jump through 3 fiery rings. But they're all there for you to accomplish. Meanwhile, card right there, if you want to pay for it, is about $5,000. Again, they're not like Madden. They're not like 2K. They're in a league of their own.
And known throughout the community as one of the very best starting pitchers that you could possibly use year in and year out. Ken Griffey Jr., this was a boss card in the second inning program who I absolutely adore. He's been very good for me as we've pushed up to Diamond League and Weekend Classic and ranked seasons. This is a fantastic card. I'm a big fan of him. So again, it's not to say there's no good cards that you can get for free just by playing the game. My point is, it's a lot fewer than what was previous in past MLB The Show games. Think like MLB 21. We're back.
So tell me something. It's October. You're a turkey. Thanksgiving is about 4 or 5 weeks away. Why are the farmers giving us more corn than what they used to? Oh, it's because they're generous. Oh, okay. They're generous. Right. Hey, why are the cards drying up? This is Diamond Dynasty. There used to be a whole great abundance of cards I could get for free. I would have to work through a program. All of a sudden, they're not there anymore. Oh, no reason. They got something planned. Oh, okay.
Back then, it was Team Affinity. It was hitting programs that set the tone for the whole game. Those were some of the best cards, and they were supplemented with the online rewards. So if you wanted the best possible team, yes, there was the live series collections. That was still a part of it. But for the most part, if you were playing the game, and even more, if you were good at the game and were getting some of these World Series rewards, you probably have a top-end team. And this is all made more frustrating by the fact that I think there's real strides that this year's game made. I personally love the Diamond Quest game mode. Them putting out very...
Why do you think they made Diamond Quest mode? It's not like what it used to be, but I'm so glad they threw in yet another unnecessary mode that they put more time into working on than the stuff that actually went to crap in this game. Which, by the way, is in May, going on June, that has not been fixed yet. That's what they're working on. That's what they gave attention to. Diamond Quest. So they create more paywalls, more red tape, more obstacles, more hoops, more alligator heads to jump on, more froggers across multiple highways, just for you to get a card. Like you got time for that. Like, this dude probably doesn't have time for that. I know kids don't have time for that. So why are they doing this? Again, I asked the question again. What do you see in front of you? What do you see going down? And enjoy your conclusions.
fair rewards in a brand new offline game mode is great. I think that's what a lot of us have been asking for quite some time. I've played through an absolute obscene amount of Diamond Quest so far this year, and that is it's a big reason why I've been able to get collections done. Why?
It's also why you have a big pause in between your sentence. Because you know why? You know, in the back of your head, you realize how much crap you had to put up with, and unnecessary dice rolling, and unnecessary ugly 2D Super NES graphics you had to work through to swallow pride in order to get the same cards that some schlub with a YouTube account spent $1,000 on to get and took less work and less shame. That's why. That pause that you heard, that pause was there for a reason. Because he knows I had to do a lot of dumb shit for this game to get these cards, to go through another hurdle and obstacle that SDS put a lot of time into to make, instead of focusing on a stadium creator mode that doesn't work. It functions. It doesn't work. Imagine this stadium creator mode would have been awesome. Co-op would have been awesome if the people who spent less time making a Casino Royale baseball game and put that time and effort into making sure that what your stadium looks like in the vault looks like that in my stadiums when you're trying to edit and create it. They didn't. Here we are.
Why I've been able to get so far in this game is that Diamond Quest is just so rewarding. If you put in time, I don't really see a point in flipping on the market anymore. Because if you play, you get rewarded. And that is great. Even in mini seasons, a mode that was overlooked a lot in the past couple of years, they've put out some pretty damn solid cards. You can get a 90 overall Chris Bryant, who I would argue is better than either of the Flawless or World Series rewards.
That's a lovely opinion. Here's the facts. No one cares to sit up here all day long and work and hustle through a rigorous system that was purposefully made to be rigorous so that you can sit up here and get your cards. People are going to pay for them. That's why they have the stubs. So it doesn't matter what your opinion is. What matters is what you see in front of you. And what you see in front of you is a mode that's not what it used to be anymore. And you know why it's not what it used to be anymore? Because they sucker people like you into playing these new unnecessary dumb game modes to get cards and make life more difficult than what it needs to be, when all what people asked for was the same card acquiring systems that they had years past. That is the fact. And if they can just throw a little trinket out there to distract the masses from what actually is happening, they're going to continue doing it. And that's why they'll have you sitting up here all day long with a deep pause in between your sentence, knowing that you did a lot of unnecessary crap to get these cards.
Yes, it takes some time to go through, but you get a very good card for doing so. The CC Sabathia was a very competent starter at the beginning part of the game. And generally, a lot of the programs here have been good. The Dustin May program, he's a starting pitcher that lots of people use. The Johnny Cueto / Scott Rowland program, that's been a fun one. David Ortiz, Jackie Robinson, they're putting out some of these big fan favorite names in programs where all you've got to do is just sink your teeth in a little bit and play. But if you want the best of the best that the game has to offer, it is very expensive collections. Whether that be Live Series, whether that be the Spotlight Series, the Legend and Flashback, or it's the ridiculously overpriced chase packs and supplementing cards that consistently top the game. That's not to mention the litany of other problems we've had. Co-op.
He's about to get into something which was now for the first time I've ever heard any of these guys talk about these problems. We've been talking about this stuff for a long time ago. But here you hear another contradiction. Again, if the cards that you can unlock using Diamond Quest and all this other crap are good, then what's the problem with these highly expensive cards that are in these packs that cost a lot of money for you to unlock? What's the issue? Why is that a problem? I thought they're different from EA and 2K. Or are they? Again, I hate to be a broken record. What do you see in front of you? Not what you want to see. What do you see? Do you see a company that is slowly going down that slope of just easing you into a dictatorship when they're still telling you it's a republic? That's fine. That's the way history usually works. But are they the same? Yes, they are, because they all did the same exact thing. That's what got Battlefront 2 in trouble. They put a lot of their players behind paywalls and then had to make you open up a whole trinket box, a treasure box of unnecessary stuff, in which was a gamble. You didn't know what you were going to get. A lot of times you didn't. They all do it. They got called out and flamed for it. They're getting away with it. So he's about to go into something which we were talking about right now.
Didn't work for 3 weeks. Well, it did work, just not as they intended. Essentially, you could go in, quit your game, and get gifted the rating point. So you'd have many people cheating the system to hit World Series, to hit 1,000 rating in co-op, and ruining the experience. You really could not genuinely play that mode for about 3 weeks. It has been fixed, which is great, but that's a problem. Custom stadiums, which they spent so long, month plus of this year's game to try and get the stadium vault to actually work so you can download stadiums you built. Well, now you can't use them online until however long because they're having issues once again. Game freezes.
Wow. Wouldn't it have been nice to actually hear about this back in March from bigger YouTuber channels? Maybe that could have got the ball rolling. Other than yours truly having to go to a hostile hornet's nest known as that official shows forum and create a thread that I had no business creating and voicing concerns I had no business voicing because people at SDS should have done their jobs and fixed the damn game. But you guys were busy playing Diamond Quest all day. You guys were busy collecting cards all day. You guys were busy milking and exploiting systems that are, again, broken because, well, SDS makes broken stuff. That's what you guys did. Now it's May. I will say this. I'm so glad that Gnomes is one of the far and few that decided to tell it like it is to a certain degree and acknowledge the fact that this game was broken for 2 months. Now, if you want to add insult to injury, imagine being a part of that community and you think Friday they're going to come out with a live stream and they're actually going to talk about the issues that they're trying to fix. And they're not. They're just talking about CC Sabathia cards, XP, free weekends, Diamond Bust, Ruby Reds, Blue Blues, and all this type of crap they call. That's why there's been a problem. See, the mode you like playing, Gnomes, that mode, Diamond Plus, or wherever else that crap is, I would have sacrificed that and maybe spend an extra week or two QCing the Stadium Creator mode and all the other stuff that went to hell, because obviously somebody neglected something, and that's why you had the problem you have. That's why you're sitting up here almost in a third week of May, and this mode does not work. Any apologies? Anybody came out and said anything? Any acknowledgement? Any stream? Any post? No. SDS said nothing. To the MLB 25 channel, whatever the hell they call themselves, they didn't say anything until it impacted head-to-head. I'm willing to bet if it did impact as vast as many modes as they don't want to acknowledge, including online, which is where their bread is buttered, you would hear nothing else from them. Because you know why? We didn't hear anything from them. I had to make a thread. I had to talk to some random dude on Twitter to get somewhat of an answer, which was no answer. And then get some random dude that's in a thread or a forum somewhere that is a mod. Again, not Ramon, not any of these people who screwed this game up. Some random dude who's a mod. That's where we're at. That is the system.
Is on your lineup screens happen all the time. They happen multiple times to me per day. That gets frustrating. Freeze-offs, where you're playing an online game and then all of a sudden you aren't anymore because the game froze because the network hasn't improved in about a decade. The removal of event rewards, which I still for the life of me do not get why they did that. I was told that people didn't like event rewards. They thought they were not worthwhile. So they scrapped them. Make them better. And
Quite a true song of truth. Make it better. If only SDS actually did follow that. Make it better. Same creator's been the same for the past 4 years. Make it better. Co-op is trash. It's glitched up. Make it better. This is a PlayStation 5. Why is there no sounds of the show? Make it better. Why is there no online franchise? Make it better. They don't want to do that. They want to give you some Diamond Plus mode where you're rolling die and getting free baseball cards. That's what the interest is.
do not dislike the multiplayer program. I think it is very rewarding, truly. If you play through this whole thing, you get a 50-pack bundle, which has one of those big chase packs where you could possibly earn, one of those really cool cards. That's nice. You have some other cards in there, and you do get a chance at those Rewind, Battle Royale, and World Series cards. However, once again, as we said, if they weren't good when they're first coming out, they're definitely not that good when they've been out for a month, and I think we'll kind of leave it with that. This year's game has stuff going for it. I am still enjoying.
Like what, Gnomes? What does it have going for it? Alienated fan base, subsequent loss of goodwill due to lack of response and proper communication from said head developer and streams. Tone-deaf community that actually sits up here and shills out two people to talk about baseball cards when clearly the game itself is broken and has no sight in regards to when it's going to be fixed, when all you get is a whole bunch of they're working on it and to be determined. That's the few things good. Again, IGN gave this game a 9. What game did y'all play? Matter of fact, what game do y'all play? Is this the same game I play? Because the same game I play is botched full of bugs. There's more complaints than what there are praise, which, again, said was going to happen. What game do y'all play? Where is this optimism in this game? Where is the, this is the future of gaming? When all I see here is just a lazy port and them being scared to actually do what they need to do. Okay, let's begin.
Playing this game, I think it is far more interesting with not having sets and seasons. There's a lot more intrigue into getting your team incrementally better. It just hurts when if you want to make your team better, you've really got to pay out for it. You've got to hope you get lucky within a ridiculously expensive pack, or you've got to play a lot and a lot and a lot to eventually save for the stubs to actually get these cards. So what's the solution? Well, we need to make the online rewards better.
No, the solution is you need to start calling out SDS for doing the same type of tactics that EA has done. Because, my brother, you wanting something to be better doesn't mean anything when the people who you're wanting to make it better from are purposely making it worse. Again, we're from the stadium creator community. Hello, welcome to the party. Grab a seat. We have drinks and hors d'oeuvres in case you are hungry and or parched.
They're more exclusive than ever before. Again, like I talked about with the removal of the BR, the World Series program, you might say, Gomer, they moved World Series down to 800. They did. Wouldn't it surprise you if I told you 0.5% of people who played a ranked seasons game this past season made World Series? It's still pretty rare. Make you feel a little bit better if you didn't hit it, or if you did hit it, you're a top 0.5% player. We've got to make those cards better. If you're going to take away those program hours and hours, if they truly want to feel like they're getting rewarded. Probably a longer video, but just wanted to talk every card. But could we make it a little bit more equitable? A little less obvious that we're yanking people in the direction of maybe deciding to less for the same amount of work, the same amount of wins, and they're just making the best cards more unattainable. How are you supposed to catch up? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I don't like the direction this past couple of weeks, month or so of this game is treaded into. There's definitely some improvements that could be made, and hopefully they do act on that. In the comments section, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Again, I don't want to act like the sky is falling, like this is somehow getting to Madden territory. That's a gross misunderstanding of what exactly Madden Ultimate Team has become at this point. Diamond.
But instead, you spend an 18-minute video talking about all the things in which this is coming to and where it's heading towards. So I'm going to just end it right there, and I'm going to just say this because I'm running out of time. I think I got about a minute left here, and I just want to wrap this up, and I just want to say something here. I like this guy's video, I like what he said, because he's at least waking up to what's going on. Not too much, because he's still in sleep land. He spent the whole video pointing out to you all the exploits that they're doing that looks EA and Madden-esque, while then saying, oh, well, they're not as bad as Madden. No, you're right. They aren't as bad as Madden. They're worse than Madden because they here are operating off of deniable plausibility while being able to act like they're better and keep people like you around believing that they're better. So, my friend, you can believe whatever you wish to believe, and you can think that it's a gross depiction of Madden and all those types of things, but you're asking for stuff from people who are purposely withholding this stuff to make it the stuff that you think it's never going to be. And we've all seen it before. I've been around when I saw the exclusive license get taken by EA. I've been around when there used to be multiple sports games and titles that would breathe competition. Those days are done. And you know something? If you keep your head in the sand this time, you're going to miss this round too, which is called another round of exploitation and predatory businesses to sucker people to pay to win. And guess what? If they don't care about me and my mode and my features, they soon will not care about yours either. Take care.